All righty, what's going on, my peeps? What's going on, my peeps? What's going on, my peeps? This is guy Ray coming to you live all the way from here. Where is here? Right here. We're getting ready to get it in. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Let me make sure I got everything going. Oh, is that going? Is that on? Let me check and see. Testing one, two. Testing one, two, one, two, one, two. Well, I'm gonna have a little technical difficulties here, people. Let me see. Is it charged up? Hold on. Well, it's not charged up. All right, let's let me get it in. Hopefully that'll work over there. Hey, listen, I got it going. Hey, this is guy Ray coming to you live all the way from here. Where's here? Right here. Welcome to Ray's Corner Live. And tonight, like, I'm doing everything off the cuff. I want to make sure you guys know. Let's get the housekeeping out the way. You know what? I'm going to change this background. This is going to be one of those nights, right? I'm going to change that background to this, to nothing. Yes. And still the same. Okay. Woo! We're going to get this thing started. Now my glasses are out there. Because you guys know I've been having a problem with my eyes, right? So if you see them floating, because I don't need to have the light directly exposed to it. But once again, welcome to Ray's Corner Live. Coming to you live all the way from here. We're here right here. Let's get this housekeeping out the way. For your YouTube people, hit the subscribe button, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when it's happening, hit the like button, hit the share button so the algorithm can do what it do for all y'all, my ticky-tacky people. If you ain't follow me, hey, come on, start following me because I need to look. I'm running this HBO special. Help a brother out. I need 1,000 subscribers. I keep going up. I say by January, but now I got to say to February. Yeah, I need 1,000 subscribers. I need 1,000 followers by February. And all my Facebook people, you know what time it is. And I just hit my other camera, just messed it up. Okay, you know what time it is. Just do what you normally do, all right? Man, I'm having some problems here tonight. It ain't nothing but the enemy. Listen, let me get this right over here. Okay. Get that right there. All right. So hopefully now everything is working. So tonight I have nothing planned. I don't have a guest. I don't have anything. I said, you know what? I need to get on anyway because people will be on for 7 o'clock. And you have to be consistent, right? But it really, really consistent. So brothers, man, I've been thinking like, really, what is it like? We have prayer lines. We have men's groups. We have men breakfasts. Go to church. Is everything we do feel like therapy? Is everything we involved in feel like therapy? I talked the difference between transparency and vulnerability last week or the other day, whenever I did it. And it's almost like a badge of honor to be vulnerable now as men or transparent because vulnerability leaves us open to things. Vulnerability are things that we're going through, the things that are happening right now in our life, and you share with the wrong people and they could use it against you, right? Transparency are things that I went through. There's a testimony, a step-by-step process, how God has brought me out. Vulnerability, I'm still in. And it seems like everything that we do is about feelings. Like I'm 67, right? When we was growing up, it really, it wasn't about showing your feelings and things in that nature. Now, I'm not saying there's something wrong with sharing your feelings to your significant other or to people. You just have to be careful what you share, right? During your vulnerable times. But here's the reality. After you get delivered, after you work your way through the process, after you're free from being transparent, after you're free from being vulnerable, right? Whatever you go through vulnerable and you make it to the other side to transparency, because transparency is the bridge to freedom, from vulnerability to transparency to freedom, right? Then what? What happens after then? You know, most of the time we on these lines and stuff, and it's always talking about like issues. Is that all we have is issues? Is that all we have to talk about is issues? I mean, when do we get on the other side of the issue? What is on the other side of the issue? At what point do we get on the line and we have these prayer lines and we have these men's lines and we have these men's group? When do we collectively like start talking about social empowerment? When do we start talking about domestic empowerment? When do we start talking about economic empowerment? When do we start talking about spiritual empowerment? The framework, the four things that make us whole. When do we start dealing with those four things? Because listen, you could be socially empowered. You could be domestic empowered. You could be spiritually empowered. But economically, you just off the chain. You can't manage your money. You don't have no money. You live paycheck to paycheck, if at all. So that still does not make you whole. You can be economic empowered. You could be spiritual empowerment. You could be domestic empowerment. But socially, man, you are a social misfit. You don't fit in nowhere. You just out of there. Once again, that's a component that's missing that does not make you whole. You can be socially empowered. You can be economic empowered. You can be spiritually empowered, but domestically, you don't know how to run your household. You're cussing and beating up your wife. You don't know how to do the things that a man's supposed to do around the house domestically and lead your family. Once again, you still missing something that's not making you whole. You could be domestically empowered. You could be socially empowered. You could be economically empowered, but you spiritually bankrupt. Don't have a clue the purpose and plan that God has for your life. Not leading your family nowhere. Once again, that does not make you whole, right? It does not make you whole. So what do we do? What are we doing? You know, I listen to a lot of things. I listen to a lot of people share a lot of stuff, right? That really is like the intent behind what they're saying is not what they're really meaning. I'm gonna say it again. I don't. I have grown to the point in my life like I listen. I don't listen to what you're saying. I hear what the Spirit is saying. The intent of why you're saying it. See, because there's people like this always challenge you. There's people that's always negative. There's people that's always positive. There's people that's all these things. But here's my question again to you, brother. After we go through these things, what do we do then? Do we stay in these groups? Do we stay on these lines? Do we constantly just keep dealing with feelings and issues and vulnerability and transparency and not like solving some like real serious problems that's happening in our community, like some real serious problems that's like dealing with these young folks, like some real serious problems that dealing with some like some real serious issues other than that's everything that's mental trauma and depression and anxiety. Yeah, we need to deal with those things, but when we deal with them and get to the other side, what then? We got we got a group of talented and gifted men, all in these groups, all on these lines, all on these things. When do we collectively, as a group of men, take all our gifts and talent and create something that could create economics, create something that can help domestically, socially, and spiritually? When we on these lines, like when we when we're on these lines, like when do we collectively come together and create something that's going to change the lives of the men on the line, They want to change lives of their families, want to change lives of their friends, want to change lives of their community and their city. When do we collectively come together and take our talent and create businesses and create community centers and create create athletic things for our kids, youth programs? When do we collectively come together as men, right, and stop always just dealing with like trauma and stress and anxiety? We supposed to do that, but there's something on the other side. There's some men on that. There's some men like really going through some real financial issues, right? But they got some ideas, right? When do we really deal with like budgeting, and when do we deal like with when we talk about being entrepreneurs, the foundation of entrepreneurship for us is structure, strategy, system, and self. When do we really start dealing and start creating things that's going to make a difference? Listen, we look, building the kingdom. Yes, we can build the kingdom, but there is something here on earth that nobody else can do but you. Listen, man. I didn't go through those 20 years of hell just to get on this side and don't do nothing. I didn't go through those 20 years of drugs and alcohol and homelessness and prison just to get on this side and become stupid, acting like I don't know how to create stuff, acting like God didn't give a purpose and plan in my life, acting like all those things that I went through, the trauma turns to training, the anxiety turns to training, the depression turns to training because I put a purpose on everything that I went through, that I could be sitting here in front of you and say, listen, I know how you feel. I understand how you feel. I've been through that process, and these are the steps that I took. It might just work for you. Man, I mean, we letting people get passes. We're in places, we're in groups and stuff like that, and we're listening to these people talking out the side of the neck. But watch this. But when you say something, it's a big debate because men are too sensitive right now. Yeah. We real sensitive because we want to be vulnerable and we want to be transparent. But you got to be tough when you transparent. You got to be tough when you're vulnerable. Because if you put it in the hands of the wrong people, they're going to do the wrong thing. I'm just saying. Something's got to give. Like we can't keep giving people passes, man. I was giving people passes for so long. I tell people, look, I've been telling people that's really close to me, which is only a few. Watch this. People really don't listen to your story. I tell people all the time. Right now, I say people really don't listen to my story because some of the things they're trying to tell me that they don't have a clue is an insult to my intelligence. And a lot of us are allowing people to say certain things, and we know this talking out the side of the neck. This is the season for that to pass. I have people telling me how to run business that never run a business. I have people that trying to tell me that try to tell me how to do certain things like as an entrepreneur, never been an entrepreneur, ain't never owned nothing, ain't never ran nothing, right? You got people like that, brothers, you got people like that in your life. You got to start telling, look, man, go get your own business and run your business and stop telling me how to do my business. Everything ain't for, listen, if certain things like it's like if certain things ain't for me, I don't need to respond. We think we gotta respond as men to everything. If something don't sound right, or if we don't do it a certain way, we need to straighten that person out and say, no, you wrong. You can't tell me, right, what I believe in is wrong. That's crazy. You it don't have to be right in your eyes. If I believe it. You can't tell me what I'm believing is wrong because it's wrong to you. We get no more passes. I hear people say the craziest things to me. They get no more passes. I didn't listen. I didn't listen. When I was out there, I was surviving. I didn't survive those 20 years out in them street being dumb, stupid, or slow. So now all of a sudden I get on this side, right? And people like really like God don't have to tell me everything about a person. I just know. Look, if it quacks, it has flavors, it's a duck. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to get mad. You just have to like for me, I can speak for myself. Can't nobody speak better for my business than me. Can't nobody speak better for me than me. I don't need nobody speaking for me. I don't need nobody taking up for me. Because when I was on them streets, didn't nobody speak up for me. Ain't nobody take up for me. Listen. Unbeknownst to me, God had me that whole time. So let's get that out the way, right? I didn't survive because I was so smart. I survived because purpose kept me alive. But it's things that I love. There's things that I learned on how to navigate in them streets. There's things I learned about people. That doesn't change because I'm saved. That's why it's hard to bring people into the kingdom because you're talking to people from the streets who looking at you like, man, come on, stop that crazy mess you talking. I you can't always be right. Woo. But guess what? You ain't always wrong neither. This is what Ray's Corner is all about. I got a new co-host. He'll be here next week, Mr. George Morning. Man, powerful brother, man. Listen, I'm just at a different place, man. Like we need, like I'm 67, right? I'll say that, right? But guess what? There's men 67, 78, man, still still doing childish things. I know for a fact, man. I'm talking to some of y'all, man. Y'all be in places, man, and y'all know what people saying ain't right. You know when people, you can't keep letting people speak this crazy mess into your life. You can't keep having to listen. I'm no longer trying to prove that I'm supposed to fit in. I have friends, I have pastor friends of mine, right? I ain't never preached at their church. I got because let me share something with you, man. Like for the last few years, I'm saved born again, and I'll be doing what is uh I'll be watching this guy on TV on Sundays, right? He calls it something, right? Because I refuse to go into a building just to say I'm in a building because it's a church. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't forsake the assembling of the saints, but this is 2025. Like digital disciples, that's what it is. I'm a digital disciple, right? You know, I go to church online because I have not found a place, a physical building that I can partake in. Don't mean am I right or am I wrong? It's just where I'm at, right? Do I pray every morning? Yes, I do. Do I read the Bible every morning? Yes, I do. I'm in a community of young men, older men, middle-aged men every morning, fellowshipping. Yes, I am. Am I in purpose? Yes, I am. Am I following the plan that God has for my life? Yes, I am. And I refuse to let people make me feel guilty because I'm not following the way they follow. Can't keep letting people make you feel guilty if you're living right. See, sometimes, like, and this is not bashing at the church. Sometimes, people preaching and everybody ain't still sinning. Everybody ain't still fornicating. Everybody still ain't doing adultery. Everybody ain't doing these things. They waiting for some meat. They waiting for some stuff. Tell me, how can I apply this Bible to my day-to-day life? Tell me, listen. Tell me, continue to convict me of my sin that I need to keep dealing with the sin in my life. That look, I can walk holy. He said, "Be ye holy, for I am holy." I need to be able to like being holy is like in the forefront of my mind. Dealing with my sin is like in the forefront of my mind. Yeah, not allowing people to make me feel bad because I don't sound or look like them. Brothers, that's what Race Corner all about, man. About like it's time to like when you talk about true freedom, most people don't know what freedom look like. Discern what people aren't saying. Discern when people are talking to you. Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? What they're telling you? And 9 times out of 10, a lot of times I'll sit back and I'll listen to somebody and I'll listen. I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet, and they stop. And I start talking. Within 60 seconds, they cut me off. No self-control. And I'll say, I just listened to you for 10 minutes. You can't even go 2 minutes without trying to cut me off because you think you know everything. That means you ain't trying to listen to me, right? So people like that, I say, okay, I stop talking. Like we ain't got nothing to talk about. Think about that. Like I watch some shows on YouTube with brothers, high-powered brothers in the body of Christ, high-powered brothers going up debating these other people, and I'm watching them with no self-control, cutting people off, not allowing people to finish their thoughts. No self-control. I'm around people like that all the time. No self-control. And half the time they're not listening to you anyway because they're already thinking about how to respond. So by as soon as you finish, they do not take time to digest or think about even when it comes to the word to be a Berean and don't respond and go back and see if it's true. Just because you never heard it before don't mean it ain't true. When do we become Bereans in all things in our life? Just because eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the things that have entered into the heart. No, I don't see it like that. No, I never heard it like that. No, I ain't feeling that. Well, I understand now certain things I haven't seen that way. It's called illumination and revelation. No, certain things I never heard it like that before. No, I never felt that thing like that before. It don't mean it ain't true. Motivation gets you going. Discipline keeps you growing. To be able to be disciplined, to listen to a person and hear a person, right? And take time to go back and see if what that person is saying is true and not responding based on everything you think you know. If that's the case, there's no such thing as illumination or revelation because you think your way is the right way all the time. And I'm speaking in general, I'm not speaking to nobody personally. I'm speaking to some brothers that really want that are in a position right now where you're constantly feeling like less than, you're constantly trying to appease people. You don't have to do that, man. It's a new season. When you know they quacking, when you know they got feathers, you know it's a duck. And but we're supposed to be really humble. Yeah, well, humble is bridal strength. Hmm. You see? We fall for a lot of stuff. Those guys like me who was in the streets and we get in the church and our anointing intimidates leaders. But because we understand order, how that thing ran out in the street, right? So we come in and we gonna be in order. But then the men of God, right, like takes advantage because we understand order. Hey, no, look. Take time to know people. I'm misunderstood in the area of my life, like, and I try to explain it to people, and it doesn't really matter no more if they get it or not, because men it's like I shut down sometimes. I just shut down. I'm mentally fatigued. I can't even think, right? I'm in this pit, right? But I'm doing all this stuff. I'm taking care of my wife. And then when I get home, I just don't want to. Look, I got a right not to answer my phone. But when you know how a person is, see, everybody I know that's close, I know how they are. So when they do things, I am not moved by what they do because I know them. I know their pattern because I take time to observe them, get to know people's pattern because people make a lot of choices. I choose not to. I was talking to a friend of mine, right? He said, "Man, I don't call you because I know you're going through a lot right now with your wife and you be real busy." And I said to him, I said, "You know what? Everybody I talk to say that. So that means if everybody's saying the same thing, ain't nobody calling me." Or they say, "Oh, he going through something. Don't leave him alone. He going through something." If everybody's saying I'm going through something, then that mean ain't nobody calling me to see what I'm going through. Look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, man. I ain't have nothing tonight. I just wanted to come talk because I wanted to be consistent with Ray's Corner Live. Next week we're gonna have my brother George. I have I got a co-host, dedicated co-host. It's gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be off the zizoid, the zizat with the bizat. Man, no more passes, man. I'm just telling you, bro. Listen, listen, listen. I am just I spent a lot of years like biting my tongue, but what was going on inside of me, man, and people don't know, man. It's like man, I'm you. The stuff you're saying is insulting my intelligence because you really don't know me. I guess I gotta stay there for man. People are insulting your intelligence because they're not listening to your story. They watch you humble. They watch you accept certain things that they're saying. They watch you like thinking that like they know more than you because you're not saying certain things and because the way you move is differently. It's different from the way they move, and they figured you don't know what you're doing. But the whole time you're looking at them saying, "Listen, man, you don't have a clue." If you took time out and knew who I was by the Spirit, you might not, you might learn something. I'm getting ready to get out of here, man. Maybe I gotta get some more people that'll subscribe now, or maybe I won't. I'm just telling you, it's getting ready to get hot up in here because we gotta deal with the trauma and depression and anxiety. You gotta put a purpose to that stuff so it becomes your training. See, my trauma back there I thought was trauma. That was my training to be able to do what I do today. So that trauma don't affect me because it's training. It brought me to a place of some place that's going to help people that's in my purpose. People that have been in jail, prison, homelessness, recovery, mental illness. I am under no illusion why I was created. Let me tell you something, man. People be trying to tell me how homeless people think, and they ain't never been homeless. And I was homeless for 3 years. Really, I was homeless longer than that, but on the streets, physically on the street for 3 years. But you're trying to tell me how homeless people think. You can only see what a person's behavior is. You can't understand the feeling or what they think because you ain't been there. You don't know the feeling of walking out a building, looking left, look right, look in front of you, looking behind you, and it don't matter which way you go because you ain't got nowhere to go. My lived experience. People are trying to say things to you from your lived experience. They're trying to tell you your lived experience. You can't do things based on your experience. Well, the devil is a liar. Because whenever I talk, right, I could be on a podcast, a radio station. when other people answer questions, right, I'm answering questions from a lived experience. So no matter what you say, it ain't wrong because what? You didn't live it. How you going to tell a homeless person how to think or what to do and you ain't never been homeless? How you going to tell a homeless person how to get out of homelessness and you ain't never been homeless? Now, you can go book sense and you can help people go from homeless into like housing, right? But your perception of them is different than my perception of them because I'm one of them. Man, I'm really going to get out of here before people start unsubscribing. Hey, look, I'll see y'all guys. This is Ray's coming to you live all the way from here. We're here right here. I want to hit you one last time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. Look, put in the comment section. If you're listening to this, hit the comment section. Say, Ray, you just as crazy as you want to be. But guess what? I'll be here next week. Ask some questions. If I said something wrong, come tell me. We can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to talk about something you ain't never experienced. But if you want to know more, I can tell you more. Next week, Brother George Morton to be with us on Ray's Corner Live. Look for the flyers, look for all that good stuff, man. Keep us in your prayers, man. And like I said, welcome to Ray. Look, this Ray's Corner Live comes to you live all the way from here, where it's here right here. And like we always say at Ray's Corner Live, God loves you, I love you. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Wait, I almost forgot. Man, I got to start my show off like this. I need y'all to go to Amazon. Type in my name, Ray Wilkerson. You're going to see all my books on housing navigation, how to house the homeless, and my personal story. I need y'all to start. Listen, you buy some of my books and you're going to find out what's going on. If you're a navigator, if you're out there trying to house people or you're trying to get into this thing, right? I franchise out Exodus Life Change Power Program where we help teach you how to run shared living, independent living housing programs, right? We do all that stuff for you. But go to Amazon and get my book. Go to our website, www.exodushouseno.com. ExodusHouseNO.com. That's our website. Of course, you always got Ray's Going Live on our YouTube channel. You got Ray. Uh-oh, I froze up for a second. You got me all those social media places. But the reality is, get the book. And if it's something that you want to deal with, we got you. Peace out.